Great, this is your last passage. Make sure that you're annotating as I read. Read the passage and answer the questions that follow. Excerpt from Starry River of the Ski by Grace Lynn. Rendy is a boy who has left home and ended up working as a chore boy at a village inn. Rendy is not impressed by either the village or the inn, and he has made his opinions clear to the innkeeper's daughter, Pai. The only thing Rendy could not scorn was the strange, endless plain of stone that lay beyond the inn. The smooth rock ground stretched beyond sight, as if someone had wiped away part of the landscape with a rag. "What is that?" Rendy gasped in spite of himself. "It's the stone pancake," Pai answered. She was glad there was at least one thing this horrid boy could not mock. "My ancestor made it." "Made it?" Rendy said in disbelief. "You're lying." "It's true," Pai insisted. "My ancestor was a great man." "Your ancestor?" "My ancestor was Rendy sputtered and then stopped. "What did your ancestor do?" Pai said. "Mine moved a mountain." Rendy bit his lip in frustration. His ancestors were far greater than the ancestors of this dirty-faced girl, but he swallowed his words bitterly and instead said, "How?" The story of the man who moved a mountain. When this place was called the Village of Endless Mountain, my esteemed great-grandfather moved here. He was an extraordinary man. He was so determined and courageous that when he wanted his tea made of Nanling water, he journeyed the hundreds of miles to the long river, and braved the brutal and violent waves to get it. He was so smart and clever that he never lost a game of chess in his entire life. He was so strong and powerful that he pulled 2 oxen by their tails through the street. So wondrous was my honored great-grandfather that all, even the spirits above, looked upon him with admiration. So when one fall morning he looked out his window and was displeased, the ground seemed to join his family with their trembling. "I see nothing out my window," my great-grandfather cried. "Why can I not see the sky, the sun, and the clouds?" "Honored father," his 2 sons and wife bowed at his feet. "Our house is next to the mountain. You do not see the sky in your room because the mountain blocks it." My esteemed great-grandfather sputtered, "I must be able to see the sky. I cannot let the mountain block the heavens. We will move the mountain." He gathered shovels and pails, and he and his obedient sons began to dig. 1 bucket at a time, they began to carry the mountain away. Obviously, this seemed an impossible task, like emptying the ocean with a rice bowl. Yet my honored great-grandfather was not discouraged, and day after day he and his sons carried away buckets of earth. All the villagers came to watch in amazement as my great-grandfather and his sons attempted to move the mountain. Their awed whispers carried to the clouds, and the spirit of the mountain overheard. The spirit gazed down at my great-grandfather and his tireless, unyielding shoulders bearing away stones of the mountain and was alarmed. The spirit took human form and rushed down. "Why are you trying to move the mountain?" the spirit asked my honored great-grandfather. "To carry it away bucket by bucket, is that not impossible? Even if you were to live 100 years and work every day, you could not achieve it." My esteemed great-grandfather brushed away the words. "I will move this mountain," he said. "If I do not move the mountain in my lifetime, my sons will continue my work and their sons after that. Eventually, this mountain of annoyance will be gone." The mountain spirit heard the truth in my honored great-grandfather's words and began to quake and shiver with fear. Without another word, the spirit left. The next morning, the sun streamed into my great-grandfather's room. He leapt from his bed and ran outside. The mountain was gone. Instead, there was an empty stone field that seemed as flat as a plate and as endless as the sky. My honored great-grandfather stood with pride. He had moved the mountain. "And that is why we have the stone pancake," Pai finished. "It is where the mountain used to be before it fled from my great-grandfather's power and wisdom." "No one uses it?" Rendy said. "Nothing grows on it, no one builds on it, and no one travels on it," Pai said, shaking her head. "It's so big that if you walk on it far enough, you'll see nothing but the sky and the flat stone and get lost. Sometimes we use a small bit of it near the end for celebrations like weddings, but usually it is left bare. I can't believe it, Rendy said, but the never-ending flat land drew out in front of him, and he could think of no other explanation. This blank spot on your paper is for you to write your genre-based thinking job. So take a couple minutes, pause the video, and write your genre-based thinking job right here. Right, remember you get 2 grades, one for correct answers and another one for using your testing strategies. So make sure you're using all the strategies that your teachers have taught you. Number 8. In paragraph 7, what does the phrase, "he swallowed his words," mean? A. He was confused about what he should say. B. He chose not to say what he wanted to say. C. He said something he did not mean to say. D. He carefully thought about what to say. 9. What is the difference between the setting in paragraphs 1 through 7 and the setting in the rest of the passage? A. The village has changed. B. The weather has changed. C. The time period has changed. D. The inn has changed. Number 10. How do paragraphs 1 through 7 contribute to the overall structure of the story? A. They explain how Pai's great-grandfather moved the mountain. B. They explain why Rendy is not impressed with the village. C. They provide an opportunity for Pai to share the story about her great-grandfather. D. They provide an opportunity for Rendy and Pai to share stories about the village. 11. What does the word esteemed mean as it is used in paragraph 8? A. Highly respected. B. Hardworking. C. Disappointed. D. Sincere. Number 12. Read these sentences from paragraph 18. My honored great-grandfather stood with pride. He had moved the mountain. How does the great-grandfather actually move the mountain? A. He and his sons work so hard that the mountain finally disappears. B. He is so admired that the villagers decide to help him carry the mountain away. C. He and his sons call on a spirit to help them fill the buckets with dirt. D. He shows such willpower that he convinces a spirit to take the mountain away. 13. How are Pai's great-grandfather and the mountain spirit different? A. Great-grandfather is more frightened, but the mountain spirit is more helpful. B. Great-grandfather is more determined, but the mountain spirit is more powerful. C. Great-grandfather is more practical, but the mountain spirit is more creative. D. Great-grandfather is more honest, but the mountain spirit is more trustworthy. Number 14. How are Pai and Rendy alike? A. They are from the same village. B. They are keeping a secret. C. They think that their home is nice. D. They believe that their ancestors are great. Number 15. The following item has 2 parts. Answer part A and then answer part B. Part A. What is a theme of the story? A. People often pretend to be powerful even if they are not. B. People appreciate leaders who are smart and clever. C. Showing your knowledge is a way to make friends. D. Having pride in your history is important. Part B. Which detail from the passage best supports the correct answer in Part A? A. My ancestor was a great man, paragraph 4. B. He never lost a game of chess in his entire life, paragraph 8. C. He pulled 2 oxen by their tails through the street, paragraph 8. D. And that is why we have the stone pancake, Pai finished, Paragraph 19. That's the end of your test. Make sure you have annotations, you have genre-based thinking jobs for each passage, and you've used testing strategies on as many questions as you can.